Our next question is the final question for this first round will be directed to Mr. Cleo Fields. Mr. Fields, can you compare and contrast the political climate of the legislature now as compared to when you were a state legislator?
Well, I guess the biggest comparison would be, I don't think when I was in the legislature we had a bully as governor, and if we did, we put him in timeout. And I think that would be the biggest comparison. One of the problems, as I see it today, versus when I served in the legislature, is we have a governor that basically do not respect the three branches of government. He's operating more as a dictator than as a governor. And I guess the closest, I don't know if it'd be appropriate to even call governor's name, but because I don't think I've ever, I can only imagine what these legislators are going through. I don't think we had anything close to that, but the closest we had was a governor who I will not call his name because I do not want him to be in the same boat of this dictator. But there were times when the governor wanted to usurp the legislative power. And by constitution, the legislators, or the legislature, is the only body and is the only entity that can appropriate money. And when people talk about how the governor is cutting this and the governor is cutting that, I would always say, hey, that's just a wish list of the governor. I remember I would have to, come to universities like this one, and governors always propose cuts. I mean, that's one of the things governors do, I guess. And I would have to explain to administrators and students that, listen, that's a wish list. As HB1, it's a wish list. It has to be, approved by the state legislature. And what we did, and we did it as a collective body, we would always choose the things that were important to our towns, our, communities, and we took the leadership role and we just made it happen. But we didn't have this kind of dictator. And then when we had a governor that would basically assert, like, for example, I read recently, y'all have a governor that if a committee chair chooses not to vote his way, the person is no longer chair of the committee. That's crazy. I can't even imagine serving under those kind of terms. I challenged many governors. I mean, in fact, every governor I've served under, I've challenged them, and we've been on the opposite sides of the issues. And I never feared losing a chairmanship because it's not the governor's responsibility to appoint me as chair. That's my colleague's responsibility. And I think this governor, the big difference in closing is this governor is a dictator. And the legislators, need to work with these legislators who are sitting here tonight and work harder to put this guy in timeout. Because the truth of the matter, he's only as strong as legislators allow him to be. And this state will take, it will take probably decades to clean up some of the mess that this governor has made.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Fields, for that.